And what's up, gang? Undertaker here. I went to Madison Square Garden tonight to do absolutely nothing, just like Austin did last night in the WWE. And Vince McMahon continue to disrespect the legends and have us come back to pop the rating and then blame us when it fails, when truly it is they that fail, and the WWE continues to rest in peace. And we are going to talk about it right here and right now. My name is Nick Nightmare, and you are watching the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show SmackDown Live, King of the Ring review and results show. Let's do it.
Sledgehammer Wrestling Show.
That was a terrible Undertaker impression, but I had the hat and I wanted to do something a little special for the intro for today's show because the Undertaker came back to Madison Square Garden for the first time in 20-some-odd years, and he came back to do exactly what Austin came back to do last night on Monday Night Raw. And he did absolutely nothing. He came back to talk about the heroes of the past that were born in the hallowed halls of Madison Square Garden. And then fucking Sami Zayn comes out. And you know what? I might be forgiving of this if the WWE did something here. But you had Sami Zayn ramble on and on and on and pretty much say everything that we have been saying about the appearances of the legends. Like, listen, we have respect for you guys. But go away now. Your time is over. Nobody wants to see you guys anymore. Well, that is a little bit extreme. I certainly would love to see The Undertaker, if used properly. I would love to see Stone Cold Steve Austin come in and put over a new guy. What would be the harm in Stone Cold Steve Austin taking somebody else's maneuver? Somebody laying out Steve Austin. Somebody coming out like the Fiend, like we all expect it to happen tonight, and confronting The Undertaker, giving us a spectacular moment to look back on that is happening now. Not something that happened 10 years ago between Kofi Kingston and Randy Orton. Not something from the past like The Undertaker or Stone Cold Steve Austin. Something now. Something that can happen fresh and new now. You know what they came up with? They came up with Sami Zayn. What sense does this make? What does Sami Zayn want? What was Sami Zayn going to say? Why does Sami Zayn think for 1 minute he deserves to open up a SmackDown Live over somebody the likes of The Undertaker? Nothing about that whole entire segment made sense. Sami Zayn decided, tonight I'm going to take a coffee break from being the manager of the Intercontinental Champion Shinsuke Nakamura, and I'm going to go try my luck with the dead man tonight. I'm going to say what I got to say, and hopefully he's just going to turn around and leave when I ask him to leave. Who out there watching this show right now thought for one cotton picking minute that The Undertaker wasn't going to turn around and flatten Sami Zayn before he exited the ring tonight? You tell me. If you could figure it out, Da Vinci code it, put it through any kind of a test that you got, if you got a special program on your phone or whatever, the way you could figure out the greatest mysteries of the world, if you guys could figure out what the purpose of The Undertaker coming to this show and being on this show was, other than to try to sell out Madison Square Garden, which they did not do on either night, no matter what they tried to tell you, then I can't figure it out. You figure it out for me, put it through all your little formulas and your whatnots, and tell me what the point was. What's the point? Why not have these guys come back and do something with them? Let's see The Undertaker start his program with Bray Wyatt. Have Stone Cold come in there and get stunned by Kevin Owens. Put somebody else over. You don't have to be the main attraction. Coming in there, drinking your beers. The Undertaker's taking 20 years to get down to the ring. Says a bunch of shit that doesn't matter, only to be confronted by a nobody. A guy that decided to be a manager. What business did he have to be out there? Absolutely nothing. You heard me reference Randy Orton and Kofi Kingston. I've teased you guys on Twitter. If you're not following me on Twitter, I don't know what the hell you're waiting for. Get on the tweet machine and follow me at the address right there below. Very easy to find. And I said to you guys during SmackDown Live, I tweeted out a little surprise saying that there is a lot more wrong with what happened with Randy Orton and Kofi Kingston than meets the eye. I loved the whole entire segment. I loved Kofi Kingston's promo leading up to Randy Orton's pipe bomb-like interruption where he decided to curse and get bleeped, and everybody in Madison Square Garden went apeshit, and it was a very intense promo that only led to them having some sort of physical altercation back in the arena, and now they are recreating the vintage moment that Kofi Kingston decided to show you guys 10 years ago at Madison Square Garden. I did the boom drop through Randy Orton through a table right here in Madison Square Garden, and you know what? Because we are so non-creative in the WWE, and we are so inept at coming up with our own ideas, and we are so dead set in worrying and thinking about and relying on the past, we're just gonna do that again. We're gonna do that all over again, and everybody's gonna get all the feels, and all the nostalgia bugs are gonna come out and start buzzing with the fireflies around the Firefly Funhouse, and everybody's gonna be all happy because we did this amazing fucking thing. Are you people crazy? Why couldn't they do something new? You're in Madison Square Garden. Do something unique. Oh, I did that 10 years ago. Wait till you see what I do to him tonight. It's going to be something next level. Maybe just change it up just a little bit. The problem with this segment was not that the table broke prematurely. It was not the fact that Kofi Kingston's boom drop through the table this time around landed flush on Randy Orton's kneecap to the point where it looked like it might have actually jacked Randy Orton. And now you did this excessive spot for no reason other than your lack of creativity, and now you may have jeopardized the whole thing altogether. Come on, man. How lazy can you be? You couldn't come up with some sort of a backstage segment, a backstage assault, set up something on the entrance ramp, do something with the King of the Ring throne, do something new, do something different. That's all we as wrestling fans have been crying for. But instead, you give us the same old shit over and over and over again. And then when you do try something new, you do something like take Eric Rowan and thrust him opposite somebody like Roman Reigns. Now, we all know I am not the biggest mark for Roman Reigns. I'm not a big fan of the guy, but you cannot deny he's one of the more recognizable, one of the bigger stars in the WWE roster. And you want everybody to give a shit about Eric Rowan? Why? Because you decided to cast him in the light of Braun Strowman? He's Braun Strowman. That's who he is. He's just a little bit smaller and a little bit less weight. And he's got just as big of a beard and he's got a bald head. But otherwise, he's Braun Strowman. This guy's throwing around equipment. He's swinging camera dollies into people. Throwing fans from the crowd. Picking up jabronis out of nowhere. Who is not a fan, by the way. Everybody knows that was a plant. They picked him up and they tossed him into a crowd of wrestlers. From the audience into the arena. Like, it was just insanity. This was a Braun Strowman's greatest hits segment. Once again, we don't know what to do. How do we get over Eric Rowan? Let's not do anything original. Let's not do anything involving Daniel Bryan. Let's not do anything unique to it at all. Let's just do everything we did with Roman and Braun Strowman. And nobody's going to get confused because Rowan sounds like Roman and Rowan also sounds like Strowman, and altogether it could be Braun Strowman versus Roman Reigns and Roman. I can't even say it. There's too many Romans. It's fucking ridiculous, man. Just as ridiculous as all that nonsense I just spewed out of my mouth. Holy shit, man. This has been the hottest thing going in the WWE. It's been my favorite storyline, hands down. And then you show up at Madison Square Garden and you do something that I've seen already 10 years ago, and here's what makes it even better. Not only did you do it, but you showed it to us from 10 years ago, minutes before it happened again. Why not just fucking give us the script to read at home? Oh, I know why. Because Vince is gonna rip it up. They're using it right now to go live with, and he's gonna give me that script. I gotta rip it up. We gotta change everything, you sons of bitches. This is another case of a show that had its script, I guess, locked in and ready to go for tonight's show. It probably had something great for The Undertaker. I can't imagine The Undertaker deciding to fly into New York City, go to Madison Square Garden for the first time in however long, to chokeslam Sami Zayn. You think that was the bait? Listen, Mark. It's Vince McMahon. I got an idea for Madison Square Garden. I need you to chokeslam Sami Zayn. Don't you think Big Taker would have been like, I got something booked that day. You know, I think I'm going to go fishing with Bray Wyatt. We actually got this great idea. Maybe you should listen. I don't want to hear about that. That was on the original script, and I threw it in the trash. I know you promised to come, but now you got to come and work with Sami Zayn. You think The Undertaker's going to say no to Vince McMahon? The guy is the most loyal company man there's ever been in the history of companies and company men. The guy will go to bat for Vince McMahon even if he knows the old man is 100% in the wrong. So the guy shows up tonight. He does what he's got to do, but it does nothing. And the script gets torn up minutes before showtime. How bad was the first script? That 2 hours before air, Vince McMahon sitting there rewriting shit. What was in the original plan? Was Shane McMahon not in the original plan? I certainly hope not. All of a sudden, Elias comes down with a mystery injury. From what? Where was he wrestling? At what house show was he wrestling? Do we have footage? Did this actually happen? If a tree falls in the forest and you're not there to hear it, did it actually fucking get cut down and fall? The same thing can be said about Elias's mystery injury. Nobody's gonna know. I didn't see anything on social media. Nobody posted, oh, I was at a house show over here and Elias got hurt. I wonder what it's gonna do to the King of the Ring. Logic would tell you that the runner-up, which would be the person that lost, would be the next person in line. But instead, who's going to face Chad Gable tonight? Who's going to face Chad Gable? Vince McMahon in the rewrite. Let's give Shane O'Mac a match. Shane's been in the business for 20 years. He's never had a match at Madison Square Garden. My son needs to have a match at the Garden. That's what we saw tonight, ladies and gentlemen. And not only did it make me nauseous beyond all comprehension, not only did it make me not enjoy the rest of the show the minute I knew this was going to happen, not only did it ruin my whole entire SmackDown experience, but it brought the sweat machine back to SmackDown Live. Did you see the size of the droplets that were falling off of the forehead of the billion-dollar prince in the ring tonight? There was absolutely no reason for any of this to go down. This was just excessive. This is McMahon's just doing what McMahon's do. I felt bad for even putting it out there in the universe. It's like, man, I made that video talking about what's the worst thing that could happen, and the worst thing that could have happened was Shane McMahon winning the King of the Ring. And we almost went down that road. Thankfully, we were spared. We were spared, but the way we went about being spared was just ridiculous. Shane McMahon putting Kevin Owens' $100,000 fine in front of him, saying, hey, you know what, I will levy that fine if you referee this match and you call it right down the middle to the best of your ability. And then we go through this whole will he, won't he, help Shane McMahon. He's slow counting Chad Gable. He's fast counting for Shane McMahon. And all this goes down, and Shane McMahon ends up losing in very quick fashion to Chad Gable, only for Shane McMahon to turn it into everybody's favorite 2019 gimmick, the 2 out of 3 falls match. We got like 8 minutes left to go in the show. We're going 2 out of 3 falls. What do you guys think is going to happen next? There's nothing to worry about anymore. There's no way Shane McMahon's going to win 2 falls in less than 8 minutes. Although that could have came back and bit me in the ass, that definitely turned out to be the bottom line, as Chad Gable rendered Kevin Owens useless by wrapping up Shane McMahon in the ankle lock, forcing Shane McMahon to tap out, which led to Shane McMahon still firing Kevin Owens, and then attacking him post-match as he was limping around the ring, making everything once again about Shane McMahon. We got Clash of the Champions on Sunday, we got the King of the Ring to be coronated, and we're ending the show with Shane McMahon. The minute I saw him and every drop of sweat he brought to the camera tonight, I knew this was what was going to happen. We can only be happy and only be glad that the reality is he did not advance past the semi-finals. But the amount of things wrong with tonight's SmackDown Live do not end there. Let's talk about the official card. Let's go up and down and get this over with. SmackDown started with The Undertaker making his way down to the ring to a very huge reaction, as you would expect in New York City, just like Austin got last night. The Undertaker gets the respect of the New York faithful. The Undertaker chant rang out strong, and then he hit the ring. He take the microphone. He said he considers Madison Square Garden his home, but he doesn't know how many more times he will get to return home. Makes you think that maybe tonight might be something special in the air for The Undertaker, right? Wrong. Taker talked about how titans and legends and heroes were all born here in the hallowed halls of Madison Square Garden, and every time he faced them, he took a little bit of their souls with them, but their memories echo in the hallways for all of eternity. And now is a time to usher in an era of new superstars. And I'm thinking, when? What show is he watching? What new superstars? I'm waiting. Does he know something I don't know? Let the man speak. Let's listen to The Undertaker. Maybe this is the magic moment he's come back for. He's going to tell us the future. Wrong. Sami Zayn interrupts, makes his way to the ring. He believes that The Undertaker shouldn't be the man to open up SmackDown Live in Madison Square Garden. Why the fuck not? Why not? Sami Zayn is a delusional moron in this whole entire segment. He noted that the fans in New York want him to take out Undertaker. I didn't hear that. I didn't hear anybody in New York say that. I certainly don't feel that way. The fans began to boo, started to chant, "You suck." Taker then decided to indulge Sami Zayn. I thought already he was just going to knock this guy's teeth out. He was going to hit him with a tombstone, but he decides to stand there and indulge as Sami Zayn goes on. He promises that the future of the WWE and Madison Square Garden are in good hands with Sami Zayn. He gave The Undertaker his word. He just asked The Undertaker to please leave and pass the torch. Taker gave Sami Zayn the microphone, started to walk away. I wasn't fooled, not even for a microsecond. Sami Zayn celebrated, but then The Undertaker came back, gave him the choke slam. This was all very useless. It was just a way for everybody to cheer and be happy about The Undertaker being around. They used him in the exact same way they used Stone Cold the night before. So, big points off for not being original, and that is the WWE's biggest crime throughout every show we watch every single year. We go to the back where the dark cloud already began to rear its sweaty, disgusting head as Chad Gable entered Shane McMahon's office. Shane McMahon is telling him about Elias breaking his ankle. News to me. Gable assumes he's going to get a bye, as most people would do, and most scenarios would dictate that that is the case. But Shane McMahon says, no, you're the type of guy that wants to earn everything, right? So I'm going to find you an opponent. He says it might be somebody from Raw, it might be somebody from SmackDown, it might be somebody that's already been eliminated from the King of the Ring, but you'll have to wait till later to find out. And the minute I seen his stupid, beady little eyes, I knew Shane McMahon was fighting Chad Gable tonight. We went from here to The Miz going up against Andrade Cien Almas. The Intercontinental Champion Shinsuke Nakamura was on commentary, and I beg WWE, please don't do this. Please don't do this. The guy's sitting there speaking in Japanese. What good is this doing to have Corey Graves sound like more of a bumbling idiot than he usually does? You got the other two guys standing there going, I don't know. I don't understand anything. I don't know what that means. Blah, blah, blah. Shinsuke Nakamura just sitting there blurting out stuff. I don't even know if it was in Japanese. It very well could have been him saying stuff in English, but his accent is so heavy that we just couldn't understand him, especially through the microphone. It was just really off-putting. It took away from this matchup. Not that this match was anything special to be watching, because why the hell The Miz is fighting anybody just a few days out from his Intercontinental Championship opportunity is beyond me. Why tonight we didn't get a Miz TV is stupid. We should have had Miz TV with your special guest, Shinsuke Nakamura, and leading into some sort of an altercation which could lead us into the match on Sunday. But instead, they want to put him in there with Andrade. I know that both Shinsuke Nakamura and Andrade, when they both signed down on the dotted line for the WWE contracts, The Miz was probably not on their list of dream matchups and dream opponents that they're looking forward to working with. But now both of these guys are going to find themselves, well, in tonight, in Andrade's case, tonight was the case for him that he was going to face The Miz, and Shinsuke's opportunity will be coming for the Intercontinental Championship this Sunday at Clash of Champions. What does this have to do with Clash of Champions? About as much as my whole little segue just fucking fizzled out right before your eyes. Absolutely nothing. It was absolutely worthless, and it didn't go anywhere. The Miz defeats Andrade Cien despite multiple opportunities where Zelina Vega interjected her presence very, very masterfully as a manager on the outside. Andrade could have got the win here. Maybe you have Shinsuke Nakamura attack and get the disqualification for Andrade Cien. Maybe something that has to do with what we are going to see on Sunday. Anything at all. No, we have to have The Miz get a clean victory. An against all odds victory over Andrade. Bringing Andrade's star down. He's already on a downward slope. He had a great showing in the King of the Ring, but he lost. He's been doing nothing but losing, and now he's losing to The Miz. So that The Miz can go on and lose to Shinsuke Nakamura, we have to make The Miz look like he's a formidable... Everybody, the guy's a 9-time Intercontinental Champion. Why does he got to be beating the Andrade Cien to make himself look like anything? It's awful. And then he gets attacked by Shinsuke at the end anyway. What good did this do anybody? Didn't do nobody no good at all. In the back, Shane McMahon approached Matt Hardy and Apollo Crews. He said he's looking for Chad Gable, and apparently Chad Gable was standing right there. We then began a whole bunch more with the short jokes and the, oh, I didn't see you. Well, maybe if you wiped the fucking sweat out of your eyeballs, you would have been able to see the guy standing 2 feet in front of you, you big rich idiot. Shane McMahon then revealed that he himself will be Elias's replacement and will be taking on Chad Gable later tonight. This leads us to Nikki Cross with Alexa Bliss defeating Mandy Rose with Sonya Deville. This is more WWE 50-50 bullshit. 50-50 bullshit. We seen Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville last week picking up a win, and now this week they're giving it back to Nikki Cross just for them to have this tag team championship matchup. Why are these girls fighting each other tonight? Why do they have to do this? Oh, just because we're fighting in the pay-per-view, we have to have singles matches between all the girls leading up to it, and all lack of creativity. And the story here, more than this quick-ass match that was inconsequential, was the promo that preceded it. And the jackass in the back, the retarded monkey that had the pencil this afternoon, when they rewrote this script, that wrote this promo for this girl, should immediately be excommunicated from his duties. How this got past the boss, how this got past anybody in creative and got greenlit for tonight's show, I don't understand. WWE is a company that champions the be a star cause. It is, if you are not familiar, and I don't know if you're watching WWE how you are not familiar with Be a Star, it's show tolerance and respect. It's an anti-bullying campaign, one that they have been running for a very many numbers of years. And then you go out there tonight And this isn't the first time we've seen them do this. We've had them do all sorts of bullying angles with Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax, which were nauseating and got the same criticisms from me that's about to come down right now. She showed a picture of Nikki Cross and just talked about how Nikki Cross wants to look like her, showed this really unflattering picture of her, made her look like a really fat-looking Jabba the Hutt, like she was just standing in a funhouse mirror or something. It was just a complete fucking mess. And how you could stand there and champion the not being a bully cause and then have an angle where this girl is straight up bullying somebody doesn't add up. Doesn't make sense. There are many, many different ways you can go about getting heat without having to go down the cheap angle with fat jokes and short jokes and making fun of people for things that they cannot control, like the way their face might look or how high that they were able to grow. Come on, man. You've got to be better than that. This company is complete bullshit, especially when they do double standard type shit like this. Be a bully. Don't be a bully. Be a star. But everybody on our show is going to be a bully. And nobody's ever going to get any comeuppance either. It's absolutely ridiculous. In the locker room, Ember Moon approached Bayley because, sure, why not? She's not happy that Bayley attacked Becky Lynch, and apparently Bayley is back to being a heel again in this segment, and she's getting all attitude-y. And she's talking down to Ember. What do you know about being a champion? And yada, yada, yada. Bayley's trying to elevate the division. Ember Moon all of a sudden is pointing out shit and defending Charlotte Flair, who is another heel, the head heel of the division. And now you got Ember Moon going, oh, Charlotte pinned you, you know. What the fuck are we talking about? Why is this happening? Ember Moon then told Bayley to save all of this aggression because they're going to meet later in the ring tonight. Could do totally without this segment. Could do totally without this match. Could do totally without this unnecessary Bayley heel turn because it doesn't make any sense. And to make it even worse, when the girl comes out for this match with Ember Moon, she's still coming out, there ain't no stopping us now, I'm baby Bayley, but with the Bayley buddies popping up. I told you guys last week, if Bayley's a heel, the best thing she could do is when those buddies come up, you take a big friggin' pin and you pop them down. And then be like, ha 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 ha. You seen her taunting the crowd, right? I thought tonight they were going to be smart enough to do something. She's talking to the crowd. Yeah, I'm doing this for you guys. I'm doing all this for you. And then I thought she was going to be like, whoa, and have nothing. And then start laughing at the crowd. Ha ha ha, screw you guys. I don't give a shit about you. I don't need no Bayley buddies. I got the best buddy in the world. Her name is Sasha Banks. I don't need these inflatable jerk-offs to jump around near me. That's what a heel would do. Not, there ain't no stopping us now. Look at my fringes and my buddies and then come me and give me a hug. Heavy Machinery defeated Johnny Silver and Alex Keaton. Not Alex P. Keaton. Not Alex P. Keaton. And Corey Graves, the idiot, says, oh, it's Alex P. Keaton from The Facts of Life. When it was Family Ties, you dumbass. Shows that he's definitely not from my age group. Corey Graves is definitely a couple of decades too young to even be using that reference. If you can't use it right, don't use it at all. So Johnny Silver and Alex Keaton. Johnny Silver actually is going to be taking part in the next House of Glory show coming up this October the 5th, so I look forward to seeing that. They are a couple of local guys that have been all over the independent circuit. They are graduates of the New York Wrestling School in Long Island, and it was great to see some guys that I've seen around town on a Monday Night Raw. Unfortunately, I already know this fate, and I already know what's going to happen, and there's nothing special about it other than the fact that I kind of am familiar with these two guys being homegrown talent. Other than that, this was just another Viking Warrior Raider segment. Oh, wait a minute, we're talking about Heavy Machinery. It's the same shit. They finally got the War Raiders doing something going towards the OC on Monday Night Raw. And now over here, we're just going to throw the jobbers back at Heavy Machinery. Not like they were just in a tag team championship opportunity or anything recently. Not like we have any other tag teams for them to beat. Let's show them in the back drinking milkshakes and acting like fucking jerk-offs, and then let's just have them go out and squash 2 local guys that nobody's going to give a shit about. Why do they have to keep doing these stupid squash match segments? They have been so many this year and last year. Ever since actually Braun Strowman debuted, we've had so many squash matches. Nia Jax used to get them. Then everybody that came up from NXT is just getting thrown jobber after jobber. Asuka was getting jobbers. Everybody gets jobber. But if you don't elevate them up, it's not going to do anything for them. And when you elevate them up, which you have done with Heavy Machinery, we've seen them in there with actual tag teams before, and then you drop them back down, it makes it mean even less. We go backstage once again. Kevin Owens is talking to Shane McMahon in his office, and again, I'm just beside myself. I don't want anything to do with any of this shit that is going down. McMahon is considering dropping the fine against Kevin Owens. He wants Kevin Owens to be the referee for the match tonight with Chad Gable. He implied that if Owens cheats in his favor, that he will drop and levy the fine that he put on Shane McMahon for absolutely no reason. We went to a recap of the world's worst dramatic angle, the Eric Rowan I Want to Kill Roman Reigns story. Rowan made his way down to the ring. Nobody gave a shit about him. He had a pretty good theme song. I was digging the music they gave him. Considering the shirts the guy tends to wear and some of the bands that he supports, I thought it was going to be a much heavier, much thrashier type of song. But nonetheless, I thought it was a pretty good song for a fairly mediocre guy. Maybe too good for a guy like Eric Rowan. And like we said at the beginning, I don't understand why they are positioning him across from a Roman Reigns that just makes him look like he's so much less than he even is. He's not worth 2 dimes and a nickel. And standing next to Roman Reigns, he definitely ain't even worth 2 cents. And of course, his promo was atrocious. The guy kept saying, "You see," or, just kept putting in just regular old pause words, like, look, I did this because of that. You see, I did this, and you see, I did that. And if the fact of the matter is, I don't even remember any of the shit he said. He claims that he's a mastermind and he's a manipulator of Daniel Bryan and he's the one behind all of this, and it's just so uninteresting. It's about as uninteresting as he is. Braun Strowman. Roman Reigns interrupted this whole thing, and I've never been happier to see this guy in my whole entire life. He came down to the ring. He stopped this atrocious promo. He hit Roman. See, here comes the confusion. Roman hit Rowan with about 5 or 6 Superman punches before this segment was over. This thing spilled out all over into the arena. It was your typical Braun Strowman style segment. You had Eric Rowan throwing the dolly and the camera around the whole place and is hitting into security and referees, and nobody can break it up, and he's throwing people around, and it's just chaos. And they want us to get excited and get invested, but I don't give a fuck. And that's the bottom line, because once again, I said so. Nobody else. Believe me, everybody else is going to be sitting there, "Oh, this was the best use of Roman Reigns I've ever seen." Fuck out of here. This whole story is dog shit, and the fact that they took this match, gave it a no disqualifications stipulation, and put it at Clash of Champions, but took the King of the Ring finals off of the Clash of Champions card. Do I have to even get into it even further about how fucking wrong that is? SmackDown Women's Champion Bayley defeated Ember Moon. Who gives a shit? Once again, Charlotte Flair joined commentary, much like Shinsuke Nakamura. The only difference here being, I could understand what Charlotte Flair's saying, but she decides that she doesn't want to say much. She's got only one-word answers. Yes. Yes. No. So, Charlotte, do you think that you're going to have to change your strategy if Bayley decides to do this, this, and that to Ember Moon tonight? No. Okay, thank you for that. So, Charlotte, are you really upset that your dad's trying to sue the company for 2 words in the English language that people have been using since thousands of years before the man was even ever born?
Yes.
Would you care to explain a little further?
No.
That's Charlotte Flair's expert analysis on commentary. Oh, well, I'll just have to beat her then. Really? Is that how wrestling works?
Yes.
Fuck. This match was short, not short enough if you ask me. Ember Moon was in control for some of this match, but then all of a sudden she goes for the Eclipse. Bayley moves out of the way, hits the belly to belly for the win. Charlotte Flair enters the ring. There's a little bit of a stare down with Bayley. Like, are they supposed to be 2 intense heels staring each other down? We're 2 bad guys. We're both bad. Let's not do anything. All this whole entire segment showed me was that without Sasha Banks, nobody gives a shit about poor SmackDown champion Bayley in the most lackluster, underwhelming championship run I have ever seen. I was one of the biggest supporters of Bayley. I thought she was going to be the next biggest thing to the women's division than maybe any of the women ever were. I really thought we were going to have a genuine woman that could fulfill that top woman role, that, you know, that good girl, that babyface girl that all the world's gonna want to be friends with, and it just went the complete opposite way. And we'll never know whose fault that is, right? Except for the old man, we know that one. Other than that, I don't know what Bayley did. Whose cornflakes did she piss in? Before McMahon went for breakfast, did she take a dump in his Cheerios? As a joke? Oh, I didn't know that was yours, sir. I'll give you a hug to make you feel better. Get away from me! You're demoted! WWE Champion Kofi Kingston makes his way to the ring. He got a nice reaction from the Madison Square Garden faithful. He talked about the classic attack on Randy Orton back in 2009, right there in Madison Square Garden, where he put Orton through the table with the boom drop. The best part of this whole thing was when Randy Orton interrupted. He came walking out through the crowd. He called Kofi Kingston stupid repeatedly, as he has been doing. He said he's tired of hearing Kofi Kingston's 2 big accomplishments. You did 2 things. You boom dropped me through the table all those years ago, and you won the WWE Championship. Good for you. Randy Orton, man. Awesome. The best. The best. He then mocked Kofi Kingston for being fake, talking about how his Jamaican accent was fake from day one, and the power of positivity shit. Yeah, that's right. Randy Orton dropped the S-bomb. They're starting to filter in a little bit of that attitude in there for the older audience, and the Madison Square Garden couldn't even believe their ears. It's like they were in church or something. Oh, Randy says shit. What is the Pope gonna say? I don't know why I went to the Pope, but whatever. Like we said to you guys earlier, this broke out into some action. Back and forth they went. And in the back, he got the first table, Kofi Kingston that is, and it broke prematurely. He then set up the second table. He hit the boom drop off of the railing. Very impressive. He got a great amount of hops up in his jump, but he did not land in the proper spot. Looked like Randy Orton might have tweaked his knee on the impact of that maneuver. Hopefully all is well, and we will get a nice matchup this Sunday, as this is the way we are leading in. Like I said, shitty of them to go the non-original route of just recreating an epic moment that happened 10 years ago, because they have nothing else to go back to. But this was a great segment. It did push forward the story. It got everybody hyped. It got everybody interested, and we're all looking forward to Randy Orton versus Kofi Kingston at the Clash of Champions. Is it going to be Kofi's last stand as champion? Many people are saying it might be. I'm not sure whether or not they will pull the trigger on that just yet. They just might want to go live to Fox with SmackDown with Kofi Kingston as the champion, just to keep the diversity numbers good in everybody's eyes. And I'm not hating on it at all. I think Kofi Kingston could use a couple of more months before we eventually give it to Randy or Brock or whoever it is that's going to end his Cinderella story. And it'll make it even more impactful, make it even Better if maybe it happens on the first episode of SmackDown Live. So Kofi Kingston might be walking in the champ, but he might not walk out that first episode of the champ. And those are the type of things you want to happen on an episode of a show to make people interested and go, hey, maybe we shouldn't miss SmackDown Live. Look at what just happened on the first episode. Maybe it's going to continue this way. That's the type of stuff that I would like to see happening as we go further down the line with this. But this is the best story in all of WWE right now. We're all really looking forward to it. They dropped the ball a little bit with their unoriginality, but I'm definitely into it. Why they didn't take this match and give it a no disqualifications stipulation, or maybe by the time we get to Sunday, you know how WWE likes to do things on the internet and on WWE.com, maybe they will make this a tables match between Orton and Kingston at the pay-per-view this Sunday, which would make sense given what has just happened, and then maybe they can have some sort of a finish where we can have Kofi Kingston extended, or a controversial finish where Kofi Kingston can lose the title due to some nefarious means. Maybe the interaction of the Revival helping Randy Orton push Kofi Kingston through the table. Maybe the New Day accidentally bumps Kofi into the table, sending us down a whole nother path. There's a million ways you can go about it. We're probably going to get generic bullshit WWE Randy Orton just wins clean type in a regular old matchup, but that remains to be seen. Chad Gable defeats Shane McMahon in the King of the Ring semifinals. Thank God. Thank God. The one saving grace of this show is the fact that they did not advance Shane McMahon to the finals, which really wouldn't have made much sense considering that Baron Corbin is sitting on the other side. But I wouldn't have put it past them to have Shane show up to the finals and then be like, hey, listen, Baron, we don't got to do this. He's going to give Baron a championship opportunity if you let me be the king, or some stupid shit like that. Thankfully, that is not the case. Chad Gable went out there, he wrapped up Shane McMahon really quick, and then the bullshit started with Kevin Owens trying to fast count, slow count. Next thing you know, Chad Gable is tapping out Shane McMahon as he locked in Kurt Angle's famous ankle lock, and Shane McMahon had no choice but to end this match himself. Kevin Owens played no part in the finish. After the match, Owens pointed that out to Shane McMahon. He's like, bro, you tapped out. That's on you. I didn't do that. And the fans reiterated it. The fans got behind KO, telling Shane McMahon, you tapped out. The chant began, and it was 100% accurate. But then Shane McMahon jumps Kevin Owens from behind. Shane McMahon grabbed the mic and fired Kevin Owens. Very underwhelming. He is nothing like his old man. He barely had anything left. The guy wrestles like a stiff board just flopping around on a boat. Put a boat in the middle of the ocean in high tide and it's just flopping around like this, and you got that one loose board in the back just flopping around, knocking people in the face, hitting the captain in the head, knocking shit all over the place. That's Shane McMahon in a wrestling ring. Just completely out of whack. Like being stuck in a pinball machine with nothing but the paddles. That was SmackDown Live's go-home show for Clash of Champions. I actually am so confused about what's actually happening at Clash of Champions that in order to do a preview and predictions, I gotta go to WWE.com. I gotta go to the website and be like, what the fuck is going down Sunday night? Because I really don't have much of a clue. I know a couple of the main events, if you want to call them that. But what else are we tuning in for? Who knows? All I know is it's going to be the day before my 42nd birthday, which is going to take place Monday night. So everybody come out to the birthday bash of Monday Night Raw next Monday as I turn 42 years old on the 16th of September. I hope to see every single one of you at the birthday bash of Monday Night Raw, which I am, as of right now, I am considering possibly going live on the night of my birthday. I am considering it. It is not 100%. I don't know how it's going to work out. I may just do the regular old reviews as you guys come for anyway, so you won't be disappointed if we're not live. Eventually we will get to that point. But be here for the birthday, please, you guys. And the best thing you can do as a birthday gift is to bring me more new Sledgeheads. As we just got over the 1,900 mark, we are inching closer to 2,000. But we would love to be in the upper echelons with the greats in YouTube. We want to be up in the 10s and the 50s and the 100,000 subscribers, which I think we definitely deserve. We've been putting 3 years of hard work into this thing. We are giving you all kinds of new shows, and we're firing shit at you guys on all cylinders at all times. We are trying to be funny as well as critical and doing this better than anybody. We may not be as analytical as a Salamonster. We may not be as full of rage and maybe not even as accurate as a JD sometimes, but nobody does this show and does this like we do, because there's nobody that gets you guys laughing and thinking the way that the Nightmare Man, as some of you guys like to call me affectionately, does to each and every one of you. Thank you all for following me on this journey as we continue down the road. Let's see how high we can continue to climb. My name is Nick Nightmare. This is the team, Thor the Sledgehammer, the official sledgehammer of the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show. This is not the hammer that was on the Firefly Funhouse, but this is the best sledgehammer in all of professional wrestling. His tag team partner, the world heavyweight champion of all the microphones in all the world, Mr. Blue the Snowball. The most important member of the team, as always, is each and every one of you badasses. Thank you so much once again for being a part of this show with me. Don't forget to smash that thumbs up if you enjoyed anything we had to say on today's show. Make sure you share this video with each and every one of your wrestling buddies all over the wrestling world, especially if they're sitting down wondering to themselves, how is this a go-home show for Clash of the Champions? While I cannot offer them a clear-cut explanation, we could definitely give them an entertaining and unique look at what the hell it is they just saw, as we continue to point out everything wrong with the World Wrestling Entertainment Company and everything it puts forth as main roster programming. Don't forget to check out everything else we have on the channel, as our 5 ways to book Bray Wyatt, the everything that could possibly go wrong with King of the Ring, which almost came true, and it was absolutely one of the most terrifying things of my whole entire night to have to sit through. And then, of course, the first ever Clash of Champions. We brought the hammer back down on a rewatch of that, and we did it CinemaSins style. How many things can we find wrong? Well, it took us about 12 minutes to get them all out to you. Everything wrong with the first ever Clash of the Champions in about 12 minutes or less. Live on the channel right now. Make it blow up all over Clash weekend. I want to see you guys watching it, sharing it, and let's blow it up. And maybe that's the video that's going to take us to the next level. All I know is wherever I go, you guys are coming with me. We are a team. We are a family here at Sledgehammer TV. I love each and every one of you guys more than you'll ever know. I appreciate your loyalty and your support. Hopefully, if you are a returning subscriber, we have so many people unsubscribe every time I do a fucking AEW review, and I'm like, stop being so butthurt over the AEW stuff. If you haven't heard it, go check it out. I'm just as bad on AEW as I am on WWE. We play no favorites. Hopefully, you're still watching me and you decide to hit that subscribe button again. Let's get those numbers up, guys. Every way you support us helps us get out there in the search engine. I can't thank you enough to continue to do so. That, my friends, is enough hawking of the bullshit. We are here almost 50 minutes, so that is going to do it. And we are out of here. And we will see you next time right here on your new favorite wrestling show, the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show, only on Sledgehammer TV, right here on YouTube.com.